The First Christmas Surprise, The Directory Santa Claus, by Patten Beard. When Dotty had made the surprise book upon that memorable day when she had not been able to go to school, she had calculated wrongly, so Marjorie's surprise book had more than the usual number of leaves, and it lasted till the following Christmas. The first surprise of that December which closed Marjorie's surprise book seemed very thick and fat indeed. It proved to be 2 stories in place of 1, and with them was a Christmas card. "I'm sorry that the surprise book must end," sighed Marjorie. "Aren't you, Dot?" And, of course, Dotty held out hopes that Santa Claus might bring another. I shouldn't wonder if he did, for Santa Claus likes to make surprises. Maybe it was he himself who had told Mother how to make the first surprise book long ago. They each chose one of the surprise book's Christmas surprise stories for Mother to read aloud on Christmas afternoon when the stories were opened. Dotty's came first. It was The Directory Santa Claus. Christmas holidays had begun, and school was out. The scholars had spoken Christmas pieces that told of gift-giving and Santa Claus. Rose Snyder and Lily Pfeiffer, with school books under their arms, pushed open the heavy oak doors of the big city library and trotted with one accord upstairs to join the line of children waiting to get in. "I got a dandy book," Lily volunteered as they wedged into the waiting line. "It was all about a little girl that went to see Santa Claus. I'm bringing it back now. Say, Rose, you get it on your card. It's an awfully nice story." But Rose shook her head. The thin snub of her nose turned up even higher than ever. It added emphasis to her refusal. "There ain't any Santa Claus," she said. "I never had any Christmas presents from him." "Well," Lily insisted, "I ain't either, but I think there is a Santa Claus, all right. He don't know us, maybe, but he's awfully good to some children. My cousin that goes to Sunday school gets a doll and a box of candy and an orange from him every Christmas. He has a long white beard, and he's ever so jolly." "Salvation Armies, they make Santa Clauses. They're not real, only anybody dressed up." "Most likely your cousin Santa Claus was like that," Rose retorted. "The Salvation Army Santa Clauses, they always stand by the street corners to catch Christmas dinner pennies in their pails." "No, 'twasn't that kind of Santa Claus. He's real." "Well, you won't find him in no directory," Rose argued. "You just go and look, and real folks' names is in it, and you won't find Santa Claus. There ain't any." With this parting thrust, Rose squeezed through a sudden opening in the line and escaped into the reading room beyond. Lily waited for her book to be discharged, then she raised a questioning little hand toward the lady at the library desk. "Please," she asked, "where is the directory book?" "Downstairs," the librarian answered, and downstairs Lily went. The directory book was really very, very big indeed. It was almost a pity that it couldn't be a story book, for one could never have done with a story book that size, and there'd always be something new to read in it. When the fat volume was opened on its desk, Lily studied it at random, trying to make out what it all meant. She decided to begin at the very beginning, so she commenced with A, turned on to B, and ran her forefinger down page after page. It took a great deal of time and patience. The text was very small, and Lily was afraid she might overlook it. Down page after page it traveled, till it came to Claus. Oh, there it was! Claus Adolph Carpenter. No, that couldn't be Santa Claus. The whole name wasn't right, and besides that, he wasn't a carpenter, Lily felt sure. How many people there were by the name of Claus? Well, with patience one might find the right one. Then I shall tell Rose that there is a Santa Claus for sure, thought Lily. On down the list she went. There was an S.T. Claus, that was the nearest to it. Who knows what that S.T. might mean in the way of abbreviation? The address was not far from the library. Lily decided to go down the avenue and find out if it were where the real Santa Claus lived. The long winter twilight was beginning when Lily came out of the library. Already the lights from the grocery and the drug store on the corner beyond warmed the gray, cold stone of the pavement with red light. Further over, past the intersecting street, an arc lamp made a misty star in the dimness. Toward the star of light Lily made her way. Yes, yes, she was on the right side of the street. She was getting nearer, nearer. Lily's heart went pit-a-pat. Oh, there it was. There it was. It was a little shop that bore the number. Over its window was a sign, S.T. Claus. Somewhere Lily thought she had seen Santa Claus's name written that way. It was the very place, no doubt. In the shop window was a wee green tinsel-covered tree. Toys were caught in the branches. They overflowed onto the broad base of the display window. Cats, dogs, carts, steam engines, dolls, baby carriages, jumping jacks. Oh! Lily stood staring, transfixed with wonder, for there in the store, visible through the lighted window, was a small, jolly-looking, white-bearded man, exactly like the picture of Santa Claus in the story-book. To be sure, his white beard was not quite so long, and he wore a gray knit coat instead of a bright red one with white fur on it, but his occupation of stringing Christmas tree chains was so very Santa Claus-like there could be no mistake in identity. Just here he came to the window and added a box of gay candles to the display of toys. He looked out at Lily through the frosty panes and smiled. "Hello!" he called by way of cheery greeting. "Hello!" returned Lily, and somehow, before she knew it, she was standing in the shop beside the worn counter, looking up into the merry face of Mr. Claus. "It was through the directory that I found you," she smiled. "Rose Snyder, she says there ain't no real Santa Claus, but I says there is for sure. A lot of children must have passed here and not known where Santa Claus lived, maybe, but I found you." Santa Claus doubled in a hearty chuckle. "And here I am all the time," he laughed, "just every day." "Didn't anybody know you was the real Santa Claus?" Lily gazed confidently into the old man's bright eyes. "They had ought to know by the sign," she suggested. "How should they?" the little man replied. "Santa Claus, everybody knows he likes to be an ordinary citizen. You won't tell the kids, will you?" Lily hesitated. "No, not if you don't want I should. But there is Rose Snyder, and she says there ain't any real Santa Claus. It was through her saying that I found you in the directory. She said there wasn't no such name there." There was a silence. "I've got it," he announced suddenly. "Just why don't Rose believe in Santa Claus? Because he never brought her any presents, or what?" "I think it's because you forgot her, mostly," returned Lily. "I says to her you forgot me, too, but you didn't know about us, maybe." He thought. "Where do you two kids live?" he questioned, and she told him. "I'll tell you what I'll do," said he. "I don't want the other children to find it out, that I am the real Santa Claus, so you better not tell them. You run home now, and you keep it quiet. Wait till real Santa Claus time at Christmas. Then Rose will believe." Ah, yes, and she did. It was a wonderful, wonderful Christmas for Lily and Rose. It was better even than Rose's cousin's Christmas, for they shared together a little tree that was left on Christmas Eve from Santa Claus, and each little girl had a doll, and some candy, and a game. "It's from the real Santa Claus, and I know him, but you don't, Rosie Snyder," Lily beamed. And Rose retorted, "I do, too, believe in the real Santa Claus." "I want a story about the real Santa Claus and the little girl," she demanded of the librarian at the children's reading room next day. "Lily Pfeiffer, she says it's an awfully good story, and she likes I should know more about him. It's true for sure, ain't it?" And the librarian smiled. End of The First December Surprise, The Directory Santa Claus by Patten Beard.